Well, welcome everyone to our third installment in our Preparing for High School series, our virtual Secondary Alternative Schools Fair and Information session. Before we begin, I'd like to introduce you to the people who have participated in putting this presentation together, some of whom are here with us this evening. I'd like to acknowledge our System Superintendent, Peter Chang. He's not here with us this evening. However, he is the superintendent behind our secondary alternative schools. I'd like to also introduce you to Ellen Walsh, who is the principal of Secondary Alternative Schools East. Mario Tenentes, who's the acting principal for Secondary Alternative Schools West. Ian Vincent, who is the vice principal for Secondary Alternative Schools West. And Jeffrey White, who is the vice principal for Secondary Alternative Schools West as well. Also with us, we have Laura Zuber, Assistant Curriculum Leader for Alpha 2 Alternative School. Renato Freire, the Curriculum Leader for Delphi Secondary Alternative School. Leela Acharya, the Curriculum Leader for Oasis Alternative Secondary School. I also have here, as part of my team, the centrally assigned principal for Learning Transformation and Equity, Lisa Edwards. And my name is Renee Rollins. I'm the coordinator of Guidance, Career Development, and Student Wellbeing. We're also very lucky to have with you some amazing students from the schools that will be presenting today. We have May from Alpha 2, Max from City School, Danielle from Delphi, and Astra and Amante from Oasis. And you're going to be lucky to hear from them a little bit later as we move on with our presentation. After our land acknowledgement, we will be sharing information about alternative education and alternative schools in the TDSB. We're going to hear presentations from the 4 alternative schools in the board that have a grade 9 entry program. We'll also hear from our amazing students about their lived experiences at our alternative schools, and we'll entertain questions and host breakout sessions, time permitting, for you to connect directly with any of the schools that you hear from today. Let's begin with our land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that our TDSB schools are hosted on the lands of the Mississaugas of the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and the Wendat. We also recognize the enduring presence of all First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples. At this point, I'm going to hand it over to Ellen Walsh to bring some information to you with regards to alternative education and alternative schools in the TDSB. Thanks, Ellen.
Thanks, Renee, and welcome everyone. It's so wonderful to have so many people with us. My name is Ellen Walsh. As Renee mentioned, I'm the principal for the secondary alternative schools in the East. Alternative schools are actually broken into sort of 3 categories in the board. We have alternative schools East, alternative schools West, and then we also have alternative schools that are housed within mainstream high schools or larger high schools that work in partnership with the school in which they are located. So there's sort of 3 different categories, and we'll be hearing from schools from all 3 today. So as it says here, and I won't really just read this slide over, but the alternative schools it's an older model. It's some of our schools are over 50 years old, and they really came out of a time when parents, guardians, students, educators in the TDSB were really wanting to offer and create something different, something alternative for students who were looking for a different approach to education and learning. And each one of them is incredibly unique. So one of the most wonderful things about alternative schools in the TDSB is that each school has its own identity, its own focus. Some of them really focus in on social justice. Some look at mindfulness, living, community connections, the arts. Many encompass many of these things. So it's not to say that if a school has an arts focus, it doesn't also commit to social justice. Very often you'll find multifaceted approaches and areas of focus in the alternative schools. They are often small. especially in relation to some of the larger high schools. And they really focus in on student-centered learning and really centering student voice. So many of our alternative schools staff are called by their first names by students. There's democratic processes in decision-making, curriculum, lessons, the approaches to specific classroom norms are co-constructed with students. And also we do a lot around mental health and well-being. So we really have a holistic approach to students, not only as learners from an academic perspective, but also as citizens, individuals, persons who have a voice and want to be profoundly impacted and involved in their education, and want to really play a very, very large role in where that education takes them. Many of our schools have different curriculum offerings. Some have a very different approach to what education looks like in terms of the curriculum and the approach in classrooms. Some are really also focus on not having the traditional classroom setup as we may be thinking of, or as what we experienced in school. We have a lot of open spaces. Many schools have different timetables and schedules on a daily basis. We really value experiential learning, community outreach and partnerships, and really try to focus on individual interests and needs of the students in our schools, and then also really capitalize on their strengths, their talents, and who they are as very, very unique and valuable individuals to set the course for our schools. And so I'm very thrilled to have the students here this evening. There's nobody else that can give a better snapshot and better feeling of what alternative schools and alternative education is than the students who we're so proud to support in our sites. Thank you. Oh, also just to add here, this is a list of the alternative schools. The East and West is simply geographic, as well as how we do categorize some of our schools. So as you can see in the East, there's the schools listed, and then the West. The West also encompasses the 3 schools that are housed within the larger high schools. And as I said, each one is very individual. You can see in terms of grade levels and offerings, there's quite a few different options, and they're all over the city. So it's also some of our students travel great distances. Some we work to ensure that they have equity of access to the education closer to home. And really, again, as I said, try to individualize these experiences for students. Thank you.
Some of the most important things in people's lives are occurring right in front of us.
It's so different every day. So there's something really, like, it's never boring. It's sometimes really fun, and it sometimes makes me want to scream, but it's never boring.
I think Alpha is one of the best places, like, for teenagers' mental health, honestly. Because if you're in a normal school, like, if you're lucky, you'll have a teacher who cares about you, but the system is not designed to take care of you as a person. It's designed to, like, make you pass a test, right? Here, like, the mentors and everyone in the space, like, recognizes that you're a person, and I think it just is a way more human system.
I came to Alpha because traditional schooling wasn't for me. I really needed an environment where I could move at my own pace.
The first thing that comes to mind is the human interactions.
I came to an open house, and they were doing some, like, presentation about the philosophy of the school, and we were all sitting down, and then I was basically just, like, pulled out of the crowd by the mentees at the time, and we went and played poker in the art room. And that was kind of the thing that made me think like, okay, I like this place. Was really the people. I think that's the most important part of Alpha, is just the people who are here.
Hello, everyone. I'm Laura. I'm one of the mentor teachers at Alpha 2. I'm so glad you all had an opportunity to take a little glimpse into life at Alpha. We are quite a unique school based on a free schooling philosophy, which means the folks that come to us get to direct their own learning, choose what they're learning, when and where and how. If you're interested in learning more about us and checking us out, we have an open house coming up at the end of the month. The QR code will link you to the Google form to sign up for that. Looking forward to seeing some faces there. And if there's any questions, I'm looking forward to following up in the Q&A at the end of the slide. Thanks so much.
We built this city. We built this city on rock and roll. Built this city. We built this city on rock and roll.
Hi, I'm Maria from City School. So here at City School, our program is really ideal for students who value community, creative, and collaborative learning. We have an amazing art program. We have a great music room. We have access to some really great things in the Waterfront Center, like a full gym, a dance studio. We have an outdoor basketball court and baseball court. So there's a lot of things that we have here at our school. It's an inviting atmosphere. We're a small but diverse population. We try and have an engaging universal curriculum and a lot of compassionate teachers. Here at City, our focus is really on, we have a big focus on environmental and social justice activism as well. And we have a long history with eco schools. Our location is absolutely fantastic. It's absolutely beautiful. We're right by the lake. And so we take a lot of opportunities to go out into the community and have outdoor classrooms in the sculpture garden or in the music garden right next door, or some of the other things that are around here. We do have relatively small classes with a focus on academics for college and university bound students. And we really try and have as many leadership opportunities, clubs and field trips. And most of our activities and a lot of our clubs are student led and run. And so they can really tap into the things that they love. We have our address down at the bottom as well as our phone number. Thanks.
I remember my grade 8 guidance counselor was doing a presentation on different high schools in Scarborough. And he got to the slide for Delphi, and he stayed on that slide for about 5 seconds. And all I remember him saying is, this school has small class sizes, and then skip to the next school. And immediately, that didn't really interested me.
The ideal method of education is not something that is concrete, final, or even ideal for everyone for that matter. For years, people have been changing, molding, and reshaping the education system into something they would call better. However, it is important to remember that the basis of education is one simple concept: learning and application of that knowledge.
An alternative school may sound strange or even alien to many, but really the concept is quite simple. A small school environment with greater expectations and more time outside of class for research equates to more learning, understanding, and developing of skills for the future. These skills include time management, responsibility, innovation, and a drive to learn the interconnectedness of all disciplines. This kind of learning and accompanying skills, unlike memorization, are employed throughout one's life in a variety of circumstances.
Delphi employs a different kind of method. Instead of locking up questions, we let them go and encourage them. The teaching, in many aspects, is student-driven and only works if students are motivated to do it. Delphi uses the Socratic method, that being question everything, including our assumptions. This school aims to give students reasons to learn and a desire to continue doing so for the rest of their lives. This also ensures the curriculum has substance to all students, flexible and moldable, ready for the students to shape into their own interests while delivering the necessary core curriculum.
My 4 years at Delphi were really interesting. It was an interesting growth because I went from wanting to be accepted, which happened really fast, to wanting to reach out, which also happened really fast.
Oftentimes, rigid thinking in our society leads many young people to believe that subjects are independent and the subject matter applies only to that classroom, when in fact, once students open the gate beyond school, they'll find that the boxes are left open and free to roam. In almost all careers and life experiences, it becomes necessary to combine knowledge in the most innovative of ways to solve problems and make progress. So we open the gates early and bridge students not only between classes within the system, but to the outside world as well.
Various examples could be whatever the student makes it, such as ancient civilizations and biology, gender studies and history, business and computers, visual arts, philosophy, and mathematics.
Delphi is definitely a unique school, one that prepares for the future, not just temporarily, but in a permanent manner. The school teaches people a Twister-like game of managing school, workload, free time, and other commitments in a crazy game that might be more challenging at points. However, with some practice, students learn to become more flexible, and a more holistic worldview is gained. Delphi is structured like a university, and even beyond the academics, it teaches students the habits necessary to juggle and balance life in general. One skill, that of time management, is one of the biggest reasons why Delphi prepares students so well for real life after high school.
Another thing is that because I had such amazing and cutting-edge teachers, part of my education in high school wasn't just curricular, it was also about thinking outside of the box and trying new things. I think I naturally brought that into my teaching practice, integrating what I teach with the real world.
We might sum it up like this. Our teaching style is not an isolated vacuum in a box or in a cage that only opens after graduation. Instead of shocking students early on, they are allowed to slowly embrace lifelong learning. Delphi doesn't mold and shape great people. People already are. Delphi doesn't create a perfect path for students to follow. What we do, however, is leave the pieces for them to find, some harder to find than others, to fashion their own way in what they may think is only a foggy future. That future is not foggy, but hopeful.
So if you really believe that your education is tied with who you are and what you can know about the world, then I think Delphi is going to be an excellent place for you.
Hi everyone, my name is Renato Frere. I'm the curriculum leader for Delphi. I hope you enjoyed the video. It was quite comprehensive. I'll be quick here. I'll just say if you're a self-motivated, independent learner looking for a full and dynamic high school experience in a smaller setting, I think we're a great spot. We offer all the compulsory courses, a myriad of electives as well. We run a lot of extracurriculars throughout the year. We have yearbooks, yearbook club, drama club, debate, gender and sexuality alliance. So many different opportunities. It's all based on what students are interested in. It's a safe space, very inclusive. We have an open house on the 26th of February at 6 p.m. There's a Google form that's been posted. You can also access our website for information on how to request a meeting. And I hope to be able to meet you and have a chance to show you the school. Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. My name is Leela Acharya. I hope you're enjoying the variety of options available for grade 9 students in alternative schools. I'm here to speak to you specifically about Oasis Alternative. We are located in downtown Toronto, and we actually have 3 sites. The first site I'm going to speak to you about that offers grade 9 programming is Arts and Social Change at King and Spadina on Brant Street. So arts and social change is basically a small learning environment that is very participatory. It focuses on collaborative learning, trying to inculcate a love of learning, a lifelong love of learning, and definitely infuses social justice and a sense of responsibility for the world around us through our courses. We offer all of the grade 9 compulsory courses, and the school also offers a wide range of wraparound supports for young people, including child and youth worker, social worker, psychologist, itinerant resource teacher, and of course, the caring adult teachers as well. At Arts and Social Change, part of our identity is definitely around project-based learning and cross-curricular collaboration as well, as much as possible. The other site that comes under Oasis Alternative is known as our Triangle program. That school has a specific focus on two-spirited, lesbian, gay, bisexual, and trans youth. We also offer grade 9 programming, as well as an arts and social justice infused curriculum, where students get to identify some of their areas of interest, project-based learning, collaborative learning, cross-curricular learning as well. Triangle is located on the east end of the city at the Metropolitan Community Church. We have a space there at Broadview and Girard. So these are our two programs that offer grade 9 programming with, as I mentioned, ample wraparound supports for young people if needed. And I'll just touch quickly on a program that we have, but it's for 16 and over, and it's called the Oasis Skateboard Factory, a very unique learning opportunity that students join after completing grade 9 and grade 10 compulsory courses. And I'm happy to share more information about that at a later time. One last thing I'd like to just mention is if your young person has any specific exceptionalities, it's best to speak with us just to make sure that we can offer all the right supports that your young person needs in order to thrive and succeed in our unique learning environments. I look forward to hearing from any of you directly, and perhaps the breakout room later to discuss any further details you may have, or any further questions that you may have. Thank you.
So right now I would like to introduce May from Alpha 2, Max from City School, Danielle from Delphi, and Astra and Amante from Oasis. Okay, well, every year that we host this is the part of the presentation that I just love. I love hearing from the students about their lived experiences, and I think this is going to be a treat for everyone. So we're going to just jump right in. And so I'm going to ask each of you to introduce yourselves, let us know what school you attend and why you chose the school that you did choose to go to. And of course, what your future plans are. I'll prompt you. And just as we had practiced, we're just going to figure out who's going to go first. It just so happens, Danielle, you're the first square for me. So I'm going to pass the mic to you.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Danielle. I go to Delphi Secondary Alternative, and my pronouns are she, her. And I chose to come to Delphi, an alternative school setting in general, because of the smaller class sizes and the independent learning. In an alternative school, I'm able to plan my learning pathway with support from my educators. So that's why I chose an alternative school. Oh, and my future career plans. I want to be a human rights lawyer. So I plan on graduating from school and then going to university and then going to law school. And then from there, hoping to be a successful human rights lawyer.
That is amazing, Danielle. Thank you for sharing. Next on my screen is you, Max. So if you can introduce yourself, let us know what school you attend or attended and why you chose that school and your future plans.
For sure. So once again, my name is Max. I use he, him pronouns. I formerly attended City School, and I currently attend the University of Toronto. I chose to attend an alternative school because I've always attended alternative schools throughout my entire time in school. I went to Alpha for elementary, and I took a year at a mainstream high school, and I found that I really missed the unique supports that alternative schools offer. And I really benefited from the one-on-one and that type of thing. My future plans, I plan to continue my undergraduate in psychological and health sciences with the goal of getting my PhD in psychology and hopefully eventually going into clinical psychology.
That is amazing. Thank you so much, Max. The next square is you, May. So if you can introduce
Hi.
yourself, let us know what school you attend and why you chose this school and your future plans.
Hi everyone. I'm May. I use he, him, ze, them, or its pronouns. I attend Alpha 2, and I chose Alpha because I find that just the traditional school setting doesn't really work for me. I can find that grades can be really pressuring, and if middle school is anything, high school could be a lot worse. I don't know. Never went to a proper traditional high school. I don't know. Uh, and my future plans. I don't really have any yet, just at the moment. I think I'm, I feel like game dev is pretty interesting. And at one point, I'd like to open up art commissions and then maybe work on characters designs.
Thank you. Up next is Amante. Please introduce yourself. Let us know what school you attend and why you chose this school, and of course, your future plans.
Hi, I'm Monte. My pronouns are he and they. I attend Triangle program, like Oasis. Um, I have loved being at Triangle, every minute of it. My first year of high school, I spent in mainstream school, and it wasn't working for me, so I came to Oasis, and it's been a really supportive environment. Staff have been great. I have absolutely no complaints. I've always felt welcome in the space. I'm also a student with an IEP, and I think they've really accommodated that really well. And my future plans are I'm hoping for a career in public relations, and I would like to go to post-secondary for that. Yeah, it's a little bit about me. Thank you.
Thank you. And finally, Astra, could you share with us, introduce yourself and share with us which school you attend, why you chose that school, and your future plans?
Hi, I'm Astra. My pronouns are they, them, and I attend Triangle Oasis Alternative School. I chose to go to that school mainly because, well, one, it's close to me, and two, it's like it just felt like a supportive environment. I chose it because it was gay, if I'm gonna be so real. I went to a mainstream high school for all of grade 9, which was not good. It might work for others, but it didn't work for me. But Triangle is a really good like alternate. Oh, um, it's a really good alternate to mainstream school. I'm gonna stop talking now. My plans for the future. I want to work with kids, hopefully, but I don't really have any other plans.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, so you've got introduced to the students who are here with us. So now we're going to basically go through some questions, and a few of them are going to answer each of the questions for you. And so I think we'll start with the first question, which is your favorite class. Tell us about your favorite class. And so I'm going to start with May.
Me? Okay. Favorite class. Alpha doesn't really have classes. That might seem like a shock, but listen. Alpha is based on self-directed learning, so it's kind of like we're the teacher, but also with the help of our mentors. It's great. I love it. So instead of classes, I'm gonna be listing some projects I'm working on. So, let's see. I like to write, and one of the writing projects I'm working on is the Briar Mirror. I don't know if I'll publish it, but like cool if I do. And I also really, really like to draw, and recently I've been getting into character design, so I feel like that could also definitely go somewhere.
Thank you. Danielle, could you share with us one of your favorite classes?
Okay, so similar to May, I also like to write. So my favorite class is English. And it's my favorite class because I find that the curriculum, the way the teacher teaches the curriculum is very interesting and very interactive for me. So for example, in grade 10, we had the opportunity to create a society. So we got to choose the individuals living in our society. We named it, we gave it like a president. It was really cool and it fostered community within our grade. And so we built the society and then we colonized it. So we created a power structure, and that allowed us to delve into like topics about the world, issues that students, different issues that students had, and it really opened my eyes to the different learning experience, different world experiences of my other peers. So it was definitely an interesting class. And then from there, we had different assignments based on that society. And for our culminating, we were able to decolonize that society and create like a perfect society. So talk about like how the schooling system was, so stuff like that. And so that's why I enjoy English.
Well, I want to sign up for the class now too. So I'm going to have to come to Delphi and sit in on one of those classes. That sounds amazing. I'm going to have one more student answer this question. Amante, could you share with us maybe one of your favorite classes?
At Triangle, I would say my favorite class has been history, just because of how we've taken the history curriculum and added a few elements to it. And I think it's really interesting. And we have added, like you guys said earlier, the social justice element. We talk about a lot more relevant issues, and we also find we also put like incorporate queer history into our classes, which I think is really interesting. And I think it's really important that we. So yeah, that's just I love it. I love all of it.
Thank you. It's amazing. So we're going to go on to the next question, which is if you can share some of the supports that you've accessed during your time at your respective school. And I'm going to send this first over to Max.
Yeah, for sure. So at City School, I haven't had the need to get supports from a social worker or mental health support in that way, but I've really accessed supports through one of my teachers, who's really always there for us whenever we need to talk and stay late after school, not too late, obviously, but just debrief from the day. And when we're doing really stressful projects like fundraising sales and stuff like that, she always had our back. And City School just really fosters that environment where relationships like that between teachers and students can be very powerful and very key to learning.
Thank you. Astra, could I pass this question over to you to share some of the supports that you might have accessed at Oasis?
We have two very good teachers that help us with anything we could possibly need in school or outside of school. They're always there, even if you like, it could be like the tiniest little thing and they'll help you with whatever you could possibly need. It's really nice and it makes you feel more comfortable and like it's almost more of like a group of friends than a school, which is weird, but nice.
Thank you. Amante, you look like you wanted to jump in and add to that, so I'll let you.
Yeah, I think that's really true. We also, Verdi and Shauna are amazing. We also have a child and youth counselor that comes in 3 times a week at Triangle. I've made a really meaningful connection with her. We also have we also had a social worker coming in for most of the year, and we also have Avi who we have Avi who is our social worker, who's there all the time, who help manage things that arise during the day and is just overall really helpful and helps everybody feel welcome and stuff, which I think is really great. And I'm grateful to have.
Thank you. And perhaps May, you can also share some supports you've accessed. Sure. Yeah.
Okay, just double checking if I heard that right.
Any support? What supports have you accessed while you were at your school?
Well, I'm hard of hearing, so I have an itinerant teacher who occasionally comes in and checks up on the equipment we have in the space, and also, just general hearing aid maintenance kind of things. And also just generally the mentors, they're kind of like a support of themselves, because asking them for help, like if you need help with I don't know, maybe you need to find a specific fabric, like texture wise, I don't know, they can help you look for it, and they can help you find the resources you need to, help self direct. And that's huge. So yeah.
Thank you. That's wonderful. And kind of along the same lines, but a bit more specific, maybe you can tell us some of the opportunities you've had to make connections with teachers and peers. And I will ask Danielle to answer this question first.
Okay, so at Delphi, I'm a part of our student council, and so we help run events that foster community within our school. So one of our very first events of the year is our icebreaker event, and so it's planned very strategically that we have each grade interact with each other through 9 through 12. And personally, from those like activities, I've made connections with people who were in grade 12 when I was in grade 9, and that was very comforting for me, because it was very scary coming into a new space, especially in high school when I wanted to be accepted. And to have like a 12th grader as my friend, I felt like I was looked out for. So there are other events that we run as well. Like we recently just had our holiday week event where we had different activities. We had a gingerbread decorating house, and people are coming into the room, and we were decorating each other's houses and laughing and talking. And so you get to interact with peers that you may not have classes with, but they see in the hallway. So the events like that, and with teachers, the teachers make themselves always available through email, or if you see them in the hallway, they can always stop for a chat with you. Our guidance counselor, his room is always open unless he's in a meeting, which is very comforting to know that you can always have access to him. So yeah, those are some of the ways that we interact with our peers and teachers at Delphi.
Thank you. And I like that focus on the peers as well, because I know that I just asked about supports and many of you also included teachers in that. So let's focus on the peers a little bit. Max, can I throw this question to you about how maybe you've connected with peers over the years while you were at City School?
For sure. So throughout my entire 2 years at City School, I was really close with another student, and we were both our names start with an M, so we were kind of known as the M&Ms, and we kind of did all of the leadership stuff at our school together. So it was a really great opportunity to kind of foster that connection and really just play to both of our strengths. I'm a lot more of like an ideas person, and she's a lot more of a kind of fine details. Like I'm a big picture, she thinks more of the fine details. So we like put together like dances, events. We did 2 charity sales, one of which raised over $2,000 for Covenant House. And there was just lots of opportunity for me to foster kind of school spirit, and that leadership opportunity was very crucial to my growth as a person and a student.
Thank you. Okay, so our next question is, what makes your alternative school unique? And I know that you guys could speak on and on about this for each of your respective schools. So I'm going to let each of you answer the question, and perhaps Amante and Astra, you can tag team on the answer since you go to the same school as well. So why don't I start with you, Amante, and then Astra, and you can share what makes Triangle unique.
Oh, no problem. I think I was talking about it today. I think one of the biggest things that makes Triangle unique is we are located inside of a church that has a lot of like significant queer history here in Ontario, which I think is so cool. I think part of what makes us unique is our community and the overall approach to learning and stuff. But I would think it's our community and um, the friendships that you'll make here at Triangle. Yeah, Astra, you can take over.
Um, I'll say at Triangle, you'll never be bored. Um, whether it's the teachers being funny, the students being stupid, or whatever's happening outside that day, you're not bored. It's different, but in like the best way possible. I don't really know how to say that without sounding like it's different in the best way possible, but it's good. Yeah, that's the gist of it. It's good.
Thank you. Okay, so up next, I'll hand it over to you, May.
Hey, what's unique about Alpha? Let me think. Uh, a lot. I think the fact that there just aren't really any classes or grades is, you know, not a lot of schools have that. And it's also like uh there's a lot of like potential you have to like, you know, follow skills you want to do. And yeah, it's like we kind of run the school also. Like every Friday we have a meeting where we discuss how we want to improve the school and like, you know, what we think needs fixing, like, and yeah, we can also like arrange our own field trips and stuff because like, I don't know, it's fun. It's fun. Like I feel like the fact that um you kind of have like actual power to like, I don't know how to word it, kind of like operate the school how you want with everyone. That's great.
Thank you. Danielle, can you share what makes Delphi unique?
Okay, so Delphi is unique in the aspect that a lot of the curriculum that I was taught in different classes intersects. I think I learned that in my grade 10 year. I realized in my grade 10 science class, I was learning similar uh, curriculum into my English class. So we're always learning the same thing. And also in conversations with our teachers, I noticed that a lot of things that person that I brought up have been taught in class. So it was interesting to see like my perspective being taught in class and to learning more about that perspective and finding like more opinions based on that perspective. So it's always like discovery and like always learning and questioning. One of my teachers even said like question me. And I think that's really important because it fosters that like even though they're my teacher, they're still learning from me when I speak and that I'm actually heard because um to see that learning being taught in class based on something that I said, um I think that makes Delphi really unique.
Thank you. And Max, can you share what makes City School unique?
For sure. So I'd say one of the big prominent things that like you can't miss being at City School is we're located right in the heart of the waterfront. We have a beautiful view of the lake and the harbor. I can see the CN Tower right from where I'm sitting. It's gorgeous. And something less obvious and super visual is that City School is very much a community. Everything we do is really kind of involved with each other and really fostering that sense of community and building on top of that. We have like a hot lunch program that we run and have ran in the past, and an early bird breakfast. And really, like, if there's something a student wants to do in class, the teachers will find a way to make it work within the curriculum guidelines. It really just feels like it's kind of a student success first environment.
Thank you, Max. And so our last question, and again, I'm going to ask all of you to answer this because we definitely want to hear your answer. And that is, how has your school prepared you for life beyond high school? And Max, you're kind of already one step out of high school. And so you obviously were prepared, but share with us, how did City School prepare you for this amazing journey that you're on towards becoming a clinical psychologist?
Yeah, so City School has really, it's given me so much, but what I'd say the most is like my ability to advocate for myself and those around me. I spent about 2 years serving as the alternative schools rep on the TDSB Student Senate and getting involved in like policy review and that type of thing for the entire board. And I would not have been able to do that without the support that City School gave me. And I've just really been able to learn how to advocate for myself and know that I'm worth advocating for. And especially in an environment like the University of Toronto, it's called the University of Tears for a reason. And it's really, you need to advocate or you're not going to get an inch even when things are important. And I feel like I was prepared for that. I was given the supports I needed to succeed, but I was also challenged. It wasn't just, I don't know how to say this, but I was given the supports that I truly need to succeed. It wasn't just support for the sake of support. It was really meaningful and impactful support. And I was challenged on why. This sounds bad. I don't know how to say this better, but yeah, I just really learned to take responsibility for myself and my education, but I was supported throughout that process.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Astra, can you share with us how Triangle is preparing you for your future?
Triangle has prepared me for my future because we don't really do things like how a normal mainstream school would do it. We go on a lot of field trips and outings that prepare us for the actual world. And we have a class where like we actually get to sell stuff, and it's like preparing for having to go out and do things. But not just that, our teachers have taught us very well how to communicate and resolve a situation without it resulting in like fighting or conflict, because we have a very small space and we can't really mess up the balance of that small space.
Thank you. May, how has Alpha 2 or how is Alpha 2 preparing you for your future?
I feel like the time I've been there has like helped me mature, kind of. It's like if, you know, a bee is pollinating a flower. I feel like I'm just in the budding stages right now. I don't really have anything planned for the future, but I know that like ever since I've gone to Alpha, I feel stronger, and like all the hurdles I passed them. Like I've passed them, and it's great because I also had that support and the Alpha community to thank for. So I feel like I'm almost ready. Might take a bit more time, but I feel like I'm almost there, like 80%, 80% ready.
Thank you. What a beautiful metaphor. Amante, can you share with us how Triangle is preparing you for your future?
I think Triangle's preparing me for my future by, like Ashley said, taking us on field trips and letting us see the real world. We have a lot of discussions about what's going on outside the walls of Triangle, and we have a lot of we stay up to date, and I think we talk about like a lot of relevant issues. I think the other way that they're preparing us for our future, Brody and Shauna, like they let us be free and they let us they don't restrict our learning and they don't make us feel restricted, and I feel like that's really great. I also feel like they prepared me for my future by like the discussions we've had about post-secondary, and I think that another way I've been prepared is I think my view has changed of education as a whole.
Thank you. And Danielle, I'm going to leave you with the last word. How is Delphi preparing you for your future?
I think Delphi is preparing me for my future by allowing me to be independent. Delphi promotes independence with the guidance from the teachers. And in that independence, that allows me to set my educational pathway or my pathway in general. And that includes my extracurricular activities as well. That sometimes does collide with my schooling. I want to share a moment in particular in grade 10 that changed my view of Delphi forever. So I'm a facilitator at the Black Rose Book Club with the Center of Excellence for Black Student Achievement. And we had a movie screening. And I remember telling my English teacher about it, and she signed up the entire school, and the entire school was there to support me in that pathway that I was taking. And so that just showed me that Delphi prioritizes my learning and helps to foster community. So that was something that really made me think that Delphi cares about not only my schooling, but my extracurricular, and that I feel like extracurricular is really important in our learning pathways. So I think by allowing me to schedule my timetable and schedule my day, I'm able to plan for the future and in my independence.
Well, thank you so much. I just loved hearing from you all. Thank you for answering those questions so honestly. Those lived experiences are important to be shared. I know that for many of us, we wish that we had known more about alternative schools, when we were selecting schools for ourselves way back when, or for our children or for family members. And so for those who are here tonight, having the opportunity to listen, thank you so much. I know that we've kind of disabled everything in the chat, but I know if we could, there'd be like a round of applause. Everyone would be giving you reactions and everything like that. So thank you so much to our students for presenting today. Thank you for taking the time out of your evening to join us. We appreciate you. Thank you so much.